All right. Mm-hmm. Okay, just give me a moment, everyone. Oh, it feels like a long, long time since I've been in here. So I hope that all of you have been well, happy post lunar eclipse, full moon vibes all around us. And I really, really wish that you, wherever you are, that you are anchoring into this beautiful Taurus energy. Hi, beautiful sister. Welcome. Mwah. Sending you so much love if you're watching this. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're here on the replay, hashtag replay and say hello. I would love to just feel into your beautiful energy anyway and know that you're here, know that you are absolutely open to receiving the transmissions that are coming through today for all of us through me as the vessel for the message to come through. So I'm just popping on here, just very spirit led. I wanted to just come on here before I start to really get into the foundations and the scene to prepare for my client. And I would just give you a little sneak peek. Some of the stuff that I prepared, I will have that a little bit more in my story later. If you're interested, you can check that out. But I really wanted to talk a little bit today about this beautiful question, which is how is hope, how is regret stealing your present moment? Because it is my profound hope that it's interesting, the paradox of the word, isn't it? It is my profound hope that you're not just sitting there hoping and wishing and then just regretting that you never took that action, you never made the move to claim what you deeply desire. And I want to tell you a story. I remember growing up, and growing up, I always heard people telling me, people who were older and more senior and more experienced and more matured, telling me, oh, I used to be like you when I was your age. I used to want all of that too. I used to dream like you did. When I was your age, I want I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to see all of that. I really, really, really wanted to go for all of those things too. And I remember sitting there really perplexed and really confounded, like truly, truly, genuinely confounded, because I would remember thinking, like, then what happened? What happened? What happened next? What happened? And most of the time, the answers would really be, well, just didn't happen. Well, if it did, you wouldn't be sitting here, my mother. Well, if I took that chance, you wouldn't have been born. And I would remember thinking, gosh, like, is that it? Is that what growing up really is? Like growing up and then everything I really dreamt about and wanted so deeply as a younger version never happened? Like, is that what being an adult meant? And so I think at the back of my mind, just growing up, not even when I was conscious of it, was this idea that if I wanted something to happen, I needed to sacrifice something in my life. And that had to be a big sacrifice of, maybe relationship for the success in work, or sacrificing a career for a divine relationship with whether your husband or your children. I mean, these are just examples because these are probably the biggest desires, biggest dreams we have as women, really. To have to be able to work, for me, to work in a way that feels not like work at all, where I truly love and enjoy my work, where I am embodied. That was my dream. And it's quite interesting because I don't even remember myself thinking that way when I was younger. But I kept a lot of diaries and journals when I was growing up. And, thanks to the age of technology, I had a blog that I could refer back to until today. And in that cyberspace, literally, when I was not really working on my spiritual growth at all, even then, I wrote down, I would love to be the stillness that is truly emanating from within. That was what I wrote. And when I looked back on it the first time, I was so floored. I was like, whoa, I'm mind blown, and I'm impressed by that version of me, because she knew even back then. She didn't dare to dream. She didn't even put it down as a dream. She literally just put it down as a hope, as a wish. And so now that I'm sitting here as this version that you're listening to, that you're tuning into, that I hope that can inspire you in some way, because my wish and my purpose really is to serve. And to serve, I want to be able to really represent women in a big way, where I am leading with love, so that women can see the way I live and know that they too can live on purpose in their own authentic power, and to create from stillness. We don't ever have to be hustling and striving and trying really hard to fit a version that is not us, or box ourselves in, or meet everyone else's expectations and please everyone else, in order for us to feel that we are empowered. Because if you feel empowered because you are this, you will hear yourself speaking that way. For example, I feel so happy because my husband is happy, my children are happy, my children grew up to be this, and I'm so proud, I'm so there. And then when I turn the mirror back to you and ask you, what are you proud of for yourself? Oh, I am proud because I raised my children. They are so amazing, and they're like these incredible beings, and they are my proudest creation. And I have this amazing job that is completely a success that I can look back on and I think it's amazing, and I'm just so proud of it. And I used to do that. I don't have children, but I have seen and witnessed many women do this. And for myself, I personally would look back on my career, and I will always say, wow, that was amazing. I'm so proud I built that. I'm so proud I built that beauty department in the magazine to that level, and I was the best editor I could ever be, and I was really recommended by so many people. And then now I'm in this space, and I look back on it, and I have this whimsical and almost wistful emotion coming up for me, because it's almost like it's gone and I'm just holding on to strands of it. And this is what I call external power. It is wobbly, it is not ours authentically, it is subjected to outside validation, it's subjected to externally empowering externally empowering sources, let's just put it that way. So what if one day it's taken away? What if one day it's falling away and falling apart, or they start to deny you, maybe, as a human being? They don't agree with what you're doing, even though you believe in it so deeply. They take your power away from you immediately, because now you don't have that to validate you as an empowered version of yourself. You're not powerful anymore because someone took it away from you, because something fell away and that's no longer you. Do you see what I'm saying? It's an attachment to an identity. Your identity is attached to another form of identity. It's the same thing with money. I always say this, and I was actually sharing this with a beautiful friend on the voice note today. I said to her that I've made it a really conscious decision to never, ever, ever ask money for permission ever again. And I ask myself this question every day: what would I be like if I am no longer attached? My identity is no longer attached to money. What would I be like? And so that has allowed me to truly, truly become really, really empowered, because now I am really coming into my own authentic power. I'm coming into my own vortex of stillness, and I'm learning to truly be empowered in no matter what situations. And that to me is true authentic power, because it really is a deep knowing. It is also a very beautiful stillness that you feel even in times when you're being rejected or you're being turned away, or maybe you are moving through the void where you hear nothing. It's a deep stillness because you're here holding the space. And for my clients, I always work with them to really embody this, because they know that the void is where all possibilities and potential exist. Hello, Marie. Welcome. So when I ask the question, how are hope and regret stealing your present moment? It's really based on one of the oldest alchemist texts in Taoist healing methodology. Hope steals the present moment because we're projecting ourselves into the future. We hope that we will do that when we become that. It's stealing the present moment. When we regret the past, I wish I did that, I wish I didn't do that, that's stealing the present moment as well, because you see your focus of the energy you have is always on something else, not within, not here, not now. And so for me to live in a way that I consider to be truly empowered and embodied, I always ask myself, how are hope and regret stealing this present moment? And I will always step back and ask myself, who is this version that I truly want to be? And it's very easy for me to tap in, because I will always say, I would journal and I would actually feel into it. Like absolutely feel into the desires and the version of me. What would she act like? What would she feel like? And when I really tap into it, the answers will come through always, in all ways. My work is really, really embodied in the way of tea. I work with tea through working with her as a plant spirit medicine. So as a medicine, she opens up the heart, and she also communes with us as a spirit. When we work with tea in that way, just like I said, I absolutely feel like I'm remembering who I really am. Fragments of myself coming back together, and my channels are all fired up. I'm connected, and that is the big thing about the Taoist healers, the Taoist sages, the Taoist alchemists. They are always seeking for, how can we become connected to nature? How can we forever and eternally be connected to the great Tao, the great cosmos? And for us to be connected in that big way is to start in the smallest way, within us. Because if we're not connected within us, how are we going to connect with everything else? Right? Thank you, Marie. I just wanted to put this out there as something, as a food for thought today, because I know that we're moving through some really thick energy right now. The density of the energy can cause us to think that, you know, everything we're doing is a waste, or we have to wait until we have something, then we can do it, even though we want it so deeply and we know it's right for us. You know, one thing, I was talking to my client yesterday, right? Again, we're actually really moving through some really, really immense energy, because here's the thing, listen to me. We have a lot of high vibrational frequencies hitting the earth, because all of us, humanity, is going to ascend. We are ascending. We're ascending to the fourth dimension. Mother Earth is coming along, and for that to happen, we have to have the capacity to carry the bigger vibrational frequency. That is embodiment. So that's why I always say, like, if you are enlightened or awakened, but you feel like you're always physically sick, or you feel like you're really heavy and tired and exhausted all the time, or you're confused, you're not anchored. You're not anchoring in your light, you're not anchoring in your higher vibrational frequency, and they're just gonna fly off, and you have to do it all over again. So this is a big thing. I was working with one of the women who came for a beautiful bespoke tea ceremony, and you know, even the things like emotional eating happens because when you're working with really high vibrational frequency and you're not able to contain it and hold it and anchor it in a beautiful way, you're gonna get into that state of emotional eating because your body needs something to hold it down. So these are things that I always, you know, I teach and I guide my clients through, so that they know that, you know, we are all cosmic beings and we can absolutely embody that right here, right now. It's not until we're dead or we're super enlightened that we can get there. We can absolutely have that now and hold the duality of living as a cosmic being, having a human experience at the same time. That is what it feels like to be embodied in our vortex of stillness. And we can have a beautiful life because we know we're so much more than this, but we are also this. It's either or. It's not either or. It's and. It literally is all at the same time. So at any moment you feel like, oh, I really want to do this, but I don't know. How do I know that I'm doing the right thing? Well, one thing I like to do is, if I catch myself going like, I need to think about it, and I'm catching myself making up thousands of reasons why I should do it, then I know that I'm in my mind, I'm in my head about it. My logical mind has kicked in, my high functioning brain has kicked in. But if I feel a full bodied desire, like a want, like, yes, it's juicy, it's so good, I know it's gonna be so good for me, oh my god, I really want it, it's a full bodied yes. And your body just knows. It's trying to tell you this. So if you're trying to rationalize your mind, your way out of the want, out of the yes, then you know you're in your head. It really can be this simple. But you know, if you're in a space where you really like, I have no idea, I'm not connected to my body at all. I spoke about this, you know, I was anorexic for 10 years. I never connected with my body. I hated my body. And the moment I recovered, and the moment I started to open up and fire up the valves and the channels in my body, and I started to feel myself moving through my body, I experienced this in a big way that really inspired me, and really it informs the work that I do today in a big way, because I know that our body can tell us so much when we allow ourselves to listen. And so spirit speaks through your body all the time. It is our work to integrate the mind and the body and the spirit. That is when I started to really, really, really devote myself to the path of the way of tea, because tea is profoundly, magically attuned to the language of the soul. And when we honor tea in the way that she is meant to be honored as an indigenous plant, as a medicine and experience, the way she's meant to be experienced. This is something I want to say and emphasize. She has to be experienced. It's not something I can teach you. I can't tell you. I can, but you're just only ever touching the surface level of what she really is capable of. That's why when I first started on this journey, I will always, 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 always remember this. There are my tea sister at that time said to me, just come and drink tea every single day. If you want to learn her, come and drink her. Get to know her language. Get to know how she feels in your body. And then you will learn her language. And so tea and stillness are one and the same. She has been the companion of many sages and Zen monks, even samurais who wanted to still their minds and concentrate and focus, and shamans who use tea as medicine. Tea is medicine. Tea has been hailed as the empress of all herbs for many centuries. If you look back on the lost text of traditional Chinese medicine, from day one, she's been known as the empress of all herbs. And so it's a wonderful tea plant. It is a wonderful plant spirit medicine to engage with and get to know and learn, and not just take from her, but also while we are receiving her wisdom, to give back to her in a big way. And when I say give back, we want to be the best version that we can ever be when we present ourselves in front of her. We want to show up in the purest and most refined way, and actually, most importantly, to be a beginner when we show up, to listen, to open up. And that refines us as a human being. And that is when all the transmissions, the wisdom that is truly the language of the cosmos translated in our body, coming through all the way. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the tip of the iceberg. And so if you're experiencing a lot of hopes and regrets and you're done with living that way, get in touch, message me, let's talk about it. And if you're like yes already to working with me, message me for the link, whether it's to join Priestess of Tea, which is a group program I have right now, or to work one-to-one. I still have some spaces left for Siren Goddess, the Pearl. I want you to know that we are reaching almost towards the end of 2022. 2023 is going to be huge. It's going to be enormous. And all of us, our work is to stay the course, to hold this high vibrational frequency that's streaming right in as we speak. And we want to hold it. We want to be able to hold that and become the best version we can ever be. And to do that, we want to be able to hold the context of who we truly are, the truth of who we are, which is a cosmic being with limitless potential. And at the same time, human. So emotional mastery is absolutely important. Yeah. All right, my loves. I'm going to finish off here. I send you so much love. And if you have any questions, comment. I love you. I bless you. And have a beautiful day. I'll speak to you very soon. And watch out on Friday for our beautiful announcement. You won't want to miss it.